機構名叫 Marias， 好有親切感啊嘛，因為香港所有外傭都差唔多最開始嗰幾年都係叫 Marias 嘅，係嘛？咁咧就阿 Nicholas 嗰間就好大，即係一個係巨人，一個咧就係小螞蟻。我想問下就係你哋點樣去 survive 特別，即係Suzanne, how you make your corporate to be sustainable because you just have 1 year and then you are also counting on external sponsorship or foundation having to operate. So how you're going to scale up in the future?
The scale is real. The answer for your question is gaining scale. At the moment, we are not self-sufficient, and to reach the break-even point.
How long do you expect to have? 1 year? 5 years.
Yes. Yes, it's 5 years because we are in a very small scale. We only charge 6% of the fee to the client, so it's not a big fee.
So you charge 6% to not to the Marias but
no,
to the employers.
To the employer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we still have a revenue. It's not sufficient for our self-sufficiency, and that's why we work with the network of partners, because we think that the social responsibility of the companies must be also involved in the answers for the social problems. And that's a win-win situation. It's a win for the social business and social enterprises, and it's a win for the for-profit companies because they can put to use their knowledge, and as Nicholas mentioned, they can offer mentoring, they can offer what they do best. But going back to your question, we have a major investor in Portugal that is investing in social investment, which is the electric Portuguese company, EDP, which by the way is owned by Chinese. So it's a roundabout.
Yeah.
But we expect to be self-sufficient in 5 years and to pay for our own costs, and after that to start investing in Marias.
咁你哋準備俾呢間法國大集團收購咧 ？Are you ready to be acquired by SOS? Are you ready to be acquired by SOS Group Company? They are really big.
Yes.
They can offer you a lot of technical, mentor, consultation.
While Nicholas was speaking, I was just making my head calculations and thinking, coming to Hong Kong, you don't need to come to Hong Kong, go to Portugal.
No, you can go to France. Very close by, right? 好近嘛，由呢個葡萄牙上去法國隔個邊界㗎嘛。So Nicholas, how do you assess her company, and do you think it's your target? We're making a deal here.
No problem.
No problem.
It's an unemployment situation, housing situation, education situation. It's your target.
Yeah, for criteria. Nicholas.
Actually, it's definitely our target, and it's the kind of companies we invest in. The idea is that we've set up. It's very important. I think that people believe only in what they can see, what they can measure, what they can touch. I mean, like, it's very important to be able to prove that you have a social impact, because I know too many people who are doing, and too many big corporations, and I won't give names, who are doing just bullshit, who are saying like,
no bullshit.
Oh, I'm social, I'm super social because I paid a lot for a social thing and blah blah blah. And you don't really know what's true, what's not, and they're doing this great ad with like this young child that is crying, saying, "Oh, but I've been helped by the company," and you don't really know what the company did for them.
Yeah.
So I think it's really key to be able to prove that you're social. The proof is not the people that have, and not the consumer, it's not the state, it's not that needs to go into the figures and understand how social you are. It's you as a company, as a social enterprise, that need to prove to the other people that you have a social impact. You can prove your economic impact saying, oh, I have a return on investment of 5, 10, 15%. That's very easy because you have a KPMG, for example, or Ernst & Young that says, oh look, this year they made 5 to 10%, but what about social impact? No one does that. So what we did for our activity of investment, and it's inspired by our activity, we set up a rating system for measuring the social impact of the company. So we set up 600 criteria.
600
criteria.
Very bureaucratic.
It's not actually. It's very efficient.
Or very systematic anyway.
So 600 criteria in 20 areas. So if you do it in 20 different ones, so it's 600 by 20.
Okay,
so
it's 30 for each.
No. 600 each one then are different for the 20.
How long it will take for the assessment?
So it took. The assessment, but it depends because you just take for the sector you're doing, and it takes a week or something.
A week.
It's only data collecting, but it's very important because
Yes.
if you're not able to track the social impact, you can go on stage like
Right.
me and say, oh, I have a big social impact actually, but maybe I'm a faker.
Yes.
I have no social enterprise and I have no social impact. I need to prove that. It's why we're doing that. We're assessing that with Group SS, and we're doing that for our investment. We're having this criteria. So this typically how we, when we invest, we measure the financial impact. So is there going to be a return on investment? How long? In 5 years? In 10 years? And exactly we do exactly the same for the social impact.
OK，我會問阿 Nicholas 兩條佢好難答嘅問題。第一個問題就係佢哋機構已經係33個國家去 operate，亦都有佢一個好完善嘅系統。點樣將呢個系統能夠本地化？因為喺唔同嘅國家有唔同嘅特色、唔同嘅 context。How you going to make your very big system into more contextual? Because you are now operating in 33 countries with different culture, different performance. This is the first question. 第二個問題就係間公司咁大，有冇一啲 happy or thereful problem 咧？即係當你間公司when your company going so big, you have a very high turnaround. Is there any challenge on your daily operations because you are too big? Is it a beauty problem or thereful problem? How are you going to respond?
The question about adapting adapting the social impact is absolutely key.
Yeah.
Because I think that in our countries, in our world globally, we've been able to do trade at a global level.
Yes.
So it's very easy for me, if I'm Coca-Cola, to sell, I have my can, I can sell it everywhere in the world, basically.
Yes.
Obviously I adapt the marketing, but still. And it's very easy to do trade at this global scale. Well, when it's about social, it touches something that is very sensible to the people.
Yes.
Because it's more linked to history, to culture, to politics a lot. Because it's the role of state, which parts plays the state and so on. So it's very tricky and it's very complicated. So it's why the economic movement has been global very quickly, and you have lots of world organization, while the social one stays very local and very national.
Yes. Very contextual.
And very contextual. So, but what I've told you before, what I was trying to say as well, is that the problems are the same, and are quite the same in every country. So obviously the models, the social models, the political models are different, but still the issues are quite the same. So of course we need to adapt. So in each country where we go, we adapt our metrics, we adapt that to the place where we are. So we work with local organizations to do that, universities or social enterprises movement and so on. But the core is the same, because an issue with elderly people here is almost the same as the one that we have in Europe. So we don't have to think that it's a huge mountain. We just need to do it.
I see.
So that's for your first question.
Thank you.
And for your second question, people think when you become bigger, then you become evil, because it's good to be small. Small is cool. Small is trendy. Small is sexy. You're small. You're dynamic, and so on. You become big. You're like, oh, what's behind, and all this amount of money, and blah, 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 and so on. So people tend to be suspicious when you become bigger. And that has been one of the main challenges. It has been able to run all these activities and show and doing the day-by-day kind of work, and at the same time do be very transparent, show and prove to the people, to our clients and so on, that we have a strong impact. So we need to measure that, we need to do that. So that has been the big challenge. It's a question, because in terms of business activity becoming bigger, make things easier. I think it has been very difficult to be from 5 people to 10 people. It's as complicated as coming from 3,000 to 10,000. I mean, it's like, it's 3,000 to 10,000 is nothing basically compared to 5 to 10.
Okay.
And it's very, so from a business perspective, it's like that. But from the other perspective, then you have, when you have an impact on over 1 million people, you have a huge responsibility on your community. So you really need to prove your impact and show that you're efficient in what you do.
So can I ask you a silly question? How efficient is your decision making from top to down? How many days or how many minutes?
We're very reactive.
Reactive?
We are very reactive.
Yes.
Still, but it's very hard to be reactive. So we just cut all the levels and all the we have like 8 levels of
decision process.
Decision process.
Wow,
So
8 levels.
It's 8 level. No, not of decision process. 8 level of people. Like you have the number 1 has a boss, and that has a boss and a boss. So it's 8 levels. So it's really big. But we try to be really efficient so that the number 1 or number 2 can go directly to number 7 and to number 8.
Jump,
jump. So we try to set up bridges to stay very reactive. Because you know why? Because social issues are evolving faster than just consumers in the classical business world. So if you're not reactive, you die. So you as a company, so you really need to be as reactive as you can. So you really need to cut all the decision process that exists, but without putting in danger your organization. That's always the tricky thing.
Great. So I will turn the question to Suzanne. 大家都知道咧，南歐人咧就好懶嘅，佢哋通常中午先開工，由夜晚就好夜先食飯。我試過喺南歐嗰邊咧，佢哋夜晚10點鐘先食晚飯，食到2點。咁我想問喺佢哋嗰個機構嗰啲 Marias 咧，會唔會都 adopt 咗呢個咁嘅即係好遲工作啊、好懶散嘅文化咧？ How are you going to deal with the so-called late working and also the slow eating, slow dinner culture?
Okay, that's a good point, because really,
it's a culture.
As I told you when I came here, when I arrived before yesterday, right in the airport, I had this learning experience curve because I was exchanging money, and I was all flustered with the yen money and euros and Hong Kong dollar money, and I was just trying to, after 6 hours flight, trying to make my head together, and the lady, come on, quick, Tammy's money. So, and no one was behind me in the queue, so, but she was fast.
Push it.
Right away I learned, well, I have to move here. So what you're saying, Timothy, is true. Well, I will not say that we are lazy.
Not slow, only slow.
We are slower than in the Eastern countries, that's true. But the reality of my Marias is that they wake up at 4:30 a.m., they take care of their children, and they start working, because they have to commute to Lisbon. They live in the nearby suburbs. So normally they would have to commute to the city, to Lisbon, even though it's not very far. It's 1 hour train, but sometimes they live far.
Traffic jam.
Yes. So they wake up very early and they start their jobs at 7 a.m. and they work all day long, and they go to pick their children at 6 o'clock. So I guess they sleep early. So that's not really a point for my Marias, because they really work. Not our Marias. They work a lot, and people recognize that.
I see. So these Marias are not stay at the home of the employee. They go back to their own home?
Yes, some of them are interns, and we are having a big boost of searching for interns. That means they live in the house.
Yeah.
But most of them live in their own houses, that have their own families, and every morning they go to work.
Great. 好，咁不如我哋將成交俾大家台下嘅朋友，你有咩問題請你舉手。咁